presidents to represent me. Dead free old presidents to represent me. Dead free old presidents to represent me. Dead free old presidents to represent me. I'm out for 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 dead free old presidents to represent me.
black, baby. I'm black. Let me check my chat. Make sure everybody in the motherfucking hot. Look like we on, babe. Yeah. Make sure everybody in the motherfucking. Alright, we on. See some motherfuckers start popping up in my chat. You know we moving the groove. I wait on. I know y'all gonna be there. That's right. That's right. I'ma just sit back and chill. Tie my shit up. I let y'all come on in, y'all. Let y'all come on in. In the meantime. Woo! Don't look too long. You know, I don't want y'all motherfuckers to become dizzy and fucking fall out there, bust your motherfucking head on something, nigga. Yeah, baby. We doing it big tonight, baby. I want all my family to come in. Y'all know how we do. Come on in, children. Come to the light. Come to the light. Come your ass on in. You been sitting out there in dark. See a king drink out of this. This my little cup. You see what I'm saying? See how I grabbed that motherfucker? I grabbed that motherfucker like one of them little baby McDonald's cups. Where you at? Come on in. What we looking like? Wait a minute, hold up. Wait a minute. Hey, you can't be a gorilla unless you beat on your chest. Okay? I'm gonna motherfucking apologize for that. You can't be a motherfucking gorilla unless you beat on your chest. So tonight, I beats my motherfucking chest. Alright, boom.
All right. Peace, everybody. Peace. Welcome to the screen. Man, I got a great screen for y'all. Before we get started, I'm trying to get this camera together right here. I'm not understanding why everything is blurred out in my background. I don't understand that. I'm gonna try and fix that here. But until then, guys, I want to say shout out to everybody tuning in, man. Shout out to all the pseudo killers. Shout out to Cedric, Juju, Gullah Gibre. Shout out, or is it Gullah Gabere? If we using our vowels. Hey, neither here nor there. Shout out to Ghoul. Shout out to, matter of fact, shout out to the entire pseudo killer family. Amir actually stopped by. Brother Golden stopped by yesterday. It was good to hear from that brother right there. Guys, I want to say shout out to everybody watching. We got 34 people in the chat. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button. We're going to get it in today. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to beat up on my man, Efron, over there at the Carnivorous podcast, because what you did over there the other day when giving your assessment on methodological naturalism and philosophical naturalism, I don't really think that you did it. But I'm gonna put my hand on in this fight today, and I'm gonna show everybody what their understanding, because there was some things that he agreed with. Psych. And there's some things that I didn't agree with. And I'm gonna say more so that I didn't agree with a lot that he had to say, and mainly it's method. So with that being said, guys, let me try something here. I wanna do something. I wanna fix this before we get this thing started here. There is something going on. Oh, here it is right here. I think I just found it. All right. There it is. I think we fixed it. I think I just fixed it. Yeah, I just fixed it. Give me 1 second. So we can just have some fun tonight. As always, personally, I've been doing Chef for almost 10 years now. But Chef, this time, brother, I'm getting my lick back. Y'all came at me on the Black Egypt thing, and I couldn't get you and Kyle. I couldn't get y'all to leave me alone on it. You understand what I'm saying? So today, it's my turn, and y'all finna take an L on this one. Y'all gonna take an L on this one, man. So with that being said, guys, once again, I want to give a shout out to everybody. Hey, guys, we're going to get into Sheffrin's sources, his sources, because I'm going to show everybody that his method is, in fact, flawed. And when you have a flawed method, it will lead to misunderstanding of sources. Guys, forgive me for being late. I was going to go live a lot earlier, but I got caught working out. As you guys can see, I still got all my workout clothes and stuff like that. So yes, as y'all know, I'm an Adidas fan. I don't wear Nike tech suits or anything like that. I leave that for the YNs. Let them young brothers have it right there. I like Adidas. You know what I'm saying? I saw Run DMC when I was younger, and I was infatuated with their style, the leather, and everything else. Hey, I'm showing my age. So please forgive me for that one. So, hey, guys, if I only got 10 likes in the building, guys, you guys got to hit that like button for your boy right here, man, because I want to give y'all some entertainment tonight. I want y'all to really enjoy this broadcast tonight, because I called Chef personally, and I said, I'm going to be challenging you on your understanding of methodology and your understanding of philosophical naturalism and methodological naturalism. And I'm going to show you where you guys are flawed at in your understanding of it, because I think you guys see the word science and you guys are automatically assuming that it's scientific. Now, I'm not trying to build a straw man with you guys, but it took me a minute, and I actually side with Ankh on this. Now, there are some things that he says that can be hard to understand, and maybe that's due to articulation, but I do understand what he's saying through his method, because he showed me certain things, and I said, okay, I can agree with that right there. So, guys, what this is about, it's about who knows and who don't. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm going to win this one. I'm going to win this one. And as always, I'm going to roll that beautiful bean footage, because what I heard today, oh my God, it was pure comedy. Ain't that what y'all be doing? I'm like, oh my God, it was horrible. I saw a lot of Pseudo-Cide up there. You know what I'm saying? And before we get started, guys, I want to show y'all that Chef is wanted. Y'all got to go protect our boy. We got to protect him, because Chef is wanted. For guess what, y'all? Committing Pseudo-Cide. Live on air yesterday, Chef Run committed Pseudo-Cide. Not suicide. Pseudo-Cide. Chef, you committed Pseudo-Cide. Please, if you guys have found anyone who listens or is in danger of committing Pseudo-Cide, don't run from them. Send them some help. Call 1-800-Pseudo-Killers, and we'll help. That's 1-800-Pseudo-Killers, and we will help. Because this brother right here, when y'all see what he did last night, I'm trying to tell y'all, ChatGPT is off the chain right about now. So, guys, my brother Chef committed Pseudo-Cide. That's exactly what you committed. Pseudo-Cide, but I'm here to help you. I'm gonna leave that up for a little while, Chef, because I dealt with you for almost 2 months on the Black Egypt thing, and I'm getting my lick back today. It was me, C-Dot. Oh man, you was trashing us in that background in my back chat. It's my turn now. Ain't that what you said? It ain't no fun when the monkey got the gun, right? Well, it ain't no fun when I got the gun. You understand what I'm saying? So you finna go down today. And as always, and like I always say, y'all say it, I just play it. So I want to give a shout out to everybody at the Pseudo-Killers. And I want to let y'all know that our beloved brother Chef on the Run. That's your new name, Chef on the Run, has just committed Pseudo-Cide. Guys, let's go get him some help, because he taking that pseudo, and it is bad for your health. It is bad for your health. Get this brother some help. Please get him some help. Pseudo-Cide. Not suicide. Pseudo-Cide. All right. So that shit you was up there talking earlier today and last night, Chef, I went behind you and I grabbed those ChatGPT sources. And this is why I tell y'all, please cross-reference your citations properly, because what I'm going to do today is completely eviscerate your understanding of philosophical methodology and scientific methodology. And the word science, as it pertains to medieval philosophy, has nothing to do with science. And you're going to find out, brother. See, this is what y'all not understanding. Methodological naturalism is the new scientific standard. All that shit in antiquity don't even matter. And what I'm trying to figure out is, why y'all, now you way over there messing with the Arabs. You way over there with the Arabs now. Y'all fucking with the Arabs now. Y'all all about, no, the Arabs had science. Y'all done went further east now. Y'all ain't messing around in Egypt no more. Oh, no, that wasn't good enough. No, we ain't going to Nubia no more. No, that wasn't good enough. Oh, we ain't going to Ethiopia. That ain't good enough. We ain't going to the Congo, Central Africa. Lord knows you can't cross the Sahara to get there. That ain't good enough. We gonna go east. What is you trying to do, brother? You trying to get us in them Qurans again? Is that what you trying to do? So we gonna deal with this today, guys. Hit the like button, guys. We are here to have fun and here to challenge one another scholastically. And guess what? He might hop up here today and straight beat me up, because that's what y'all want to see, right? Y'all want to see the engaging of young black men arguing over scientific understanding, right? That's what y'all really want to see, right? Y'all love seeing Chris debate. That's what everybody want to see. So as my beloved brother Chef say, let's get it. Remember, they say it, I play it. I know how to listen better than I know how to debate, believe it or not. So with that being said, give me 1 second. That is a funny picture. That is funny. I ain't gonna lie. That shit is funny. That shit is funny, Chef. You gotta admit, I messed you up on that one. So with that being said, guys, let me put that picture back up for my man Chef right there. Yeah, go ahead and get me back later on, brother. Because, see, we laugh about this. We don't beef over this stuff right here. But, Chef, I got you on this one, bro. I got you on that one. I got you on this one right here. I'm proud of this one right here. I'm proud of this one right here. I'm proud of this one right here. Let me get it back up. And bang. Whoop. And boom. Let me get it back up. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. Let me put it back up so everybody that come up in the stream will see that you have committed pseudo-cide. I want everybody on my YouTube, all my fans, all the people that follow me, that have been following me for the last 6 years on this brand. I want everybody to know that you committed pseudo-cide, and I'm not going to back off of this one right here. You have committed pseudo-cide. All right. So with that being said, he said, man, let's go. All right, Chef. So with that being said, guys, let's get this up. I'll leave that up there just to troll you for the next 2 years. All right, I got more too. Don't worry, guys. I got more pictures for y'all tonight that I made of these guys right here. All right, so let's get this up. Let's go to his latest show. Chef said it ain't no fun when the monkey got the gun. And we want to deal with that. Actually, I thought that was a funny title. I ain't gonna lie. I did think that was a funny title, bro. That was a funny title. I'll give you that one. All right, so let's go here. Let's get this share screen up. Let's go. Ain't no fun when the monkey got the gun. Share that audio. Run that beautiful beam footage, and we gonna press play and let the chips fall where they may. And as y'all can see, this is a challenge. Chef said right here, stop faking like y'all science or anything. So let's run it.
Science. But to brother that is science. And he said, no, it ain't science. I said, what? He said, it ain't no other type of science but modern science. I said, man, science. I said, it's science. He said,
Uncle's right. Methodological naturalism is the new scientific standard. Methodological naturalism studies nature, and it can study against itself to falsify itself. That is the new standard. We are not dealing with the ways of antiquity anymore. We are not dealing with a philosophical standard. So I'm going to let this run for a little bit because Chef can speak for itself.
No, it wasn't doing science, and it ain't science. But they were close because kept saying that modern science is the only science, right? Now, I'm about to go back and pull a clip of me and him teasing this point out. I asked him several different ways to make sure he wasn't saying that it wasn't science. And he tripled and doubled down on it. He tripled and doubled down on it. Right? So, where I'm at. And here I come, Brass, I'm about to sing y'all the I know that's funny, Kale, ain't it? That title. That's crazy as shit. Kale, they called me a monkey. A Catarini is some type of monkey. And they said that I'm a monkey with clippers. You feel me? So hold on. Let me get this out the way. Boom.
Oh, niggas ain't shit.
And I listened to my man Sosa, because my man Sosa said, man, beat your
oh shit.
Sosa told me, man, you gotta beat your excuse me. Sosa told me, man, you gotta beat the hell out of your AI, right?
Man,
so
funny.
I'm gonna do this every way they possible, right? They Sosa say, man, just don't ask one question, keep asking it questions, boom, 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 boom. All right, so I asked it and I got it on Deep Think, right? I said, I asks it. The medieval Islamic scholars, so I didn't even call them scientists, and I didn't even call it science, right? I call them scholars, because most source that you read, it talks about the scholarship of the medieval Islamic golden age, right? So I didn't preempt my joint by calling them nothing. I called them scholars, right? I said the medieval Islamic scholars, did they practice proto-science, science, or modern science, right? And it says, medieval Islamic scholars practiced science. Y'all see that? Medieval Islamic scholars practice science, but not modern science in the full institutional sense. So said there ain't no other type of science but modern science. I said, what? I said, modern is just talking about, the present day. Like, the hell are you mean? But, he liked to make these crazy, you feel me, arguments where it's a dead end and it's narrow and, crazy, right? So it says, the most accurate way to put it is this. They did pre-modern or medieval science. And in some fields, they also practice what people call proto-science, only if that term is being used to mean an earlier form of science that lacks some later modern features, right? Historians of science, though usually do not treat Islamic astronomy, optics, medicine, and mathematics, and natural philosophy as merely proto-science. They usually discuss them as part of the real history of science before the scientific revolution. Okay? So it's saying that the historians of science treat the Islamic practice as science before the scientific revolution.
Okay, so let's stop this right here. He said historians treat it as science. It doesn't mean that it was science. Let's slow this down for a minute, guys, because notice how he's gaslighting the article in a way. It says, and first of all, you're prompting ChatGPT to say something. You can prompt ChatGPT to say things the way you want it said. And this is very dangerous because I actually pulled some of the sources from ChatGPT that caused it to prompt, because it's pulling from sources off the net. This is why it's hard to cross-reference it. You should cross-reference it on your own. It gives you the source right here. Cambridge plus 2 other sources. So let's take a look here. It says medieval Islamic scholars practice science, but not modern science in the full institutional sense. The most accurate way to put it is this: they did pre-modern or medieval science. We're going to find out what medieval science is today. And in some fields, they also practice what people call today proto-science. Only if that term is being used to mean, quote unquote, an earlier form of science that lacked some later modern features. It ain't science. It's not modern science. And you got to be careful how this word science is being used in context with medieval science. It's important to understand context when reading these type of articles, because many times people just become buzzword heavy. We got God killer in the building. They become very buzzword heavy, and they begin to create context clues or false inferences based on the words science, not understanding that medieval science is not scientific. And we're going to find out what it is, because I literally cross-reference some of your sources, Chef. That's what I do. So let's keep going. All right. Historians of a science, though, very important, usually do not treat Islamic astronomy, optics, medicine, mathematics, and natural philosophy as merely proto-science. They usually discuss them as part of the real history of science before the scientific revolution. I want y'all to go explore that on your own time. Cambridge's history of science explicitly includes Islamic natural sciences within medieval science. Now, this is ChatGPT prompting. He prompted ChatGPT to say this. So it's giving a breakdown of all the sources that it pulled. You didn't cross-reference them, Chef. That's bad methodology. And the Stanford Encyclopedia describes Arabic Islamic natural philosophy and natural science as serious, structured traditions of inquiry. That's what it said. That's what it says. Let me repeat this again to you, because now your source down here, or ChatGPT, is actually working against itself. Because look at what it says. You gotta read it. There's some commas here. Cambridge's history of science explicitly includes Islamic natural sciences within quote unquote medieval science. And the Stanford Encyclopedia describes Arabic Islamic natural philosophy and natural science as serious, structured traditions of inquiry. So which one is it? Which one will you stand on? Because I'm going to tell you where you're going to fall at today. You know why, Chef? It's called this right here, Pseudo-Cide. When you commit Pseudo-Cide, you die at your own source. You died. You died on your own source, Chef. I'm going to put this up again for you. You died. You died. And I always say, when they die, they die. You died at your own source. You committed pseudo-cide here. You tried to gaslight us on this source, and you pulled a JJ 7,000 drinks. You can't do that. You cannot do that. This source does not back up anything you say. Let's continue. Come on here and stop me if I'm wrong. Tell me, Chris, you're wrong. Anybody can come up here and tell me that I'm wrong on my assessment of Chef's strategy here, because it's failing so far. Let's continue on. Pseudo-Cide.
Evolution, right? Cambridge History of Science. The Cambridge History of Science explicitly includes Islamic natural sciences within medieval science. And the Stanford Encyclopedia describes Arabic Islamic natural philosophy and natural science as serious structured traditions of inquiry. So the best classification is 1, not just proto-science. Proto-science can make it sound like they were only fumbling towards science, which is misleading. Medieval Islamic scholars developed mathematics, astronomy, optics, medicine, mechanics, and observational methods in disciplined ways.
Stop. Time out. Math is not science. Math is abstract thoughts. Astronomy, medieval people using a scientific method with astronomy, not so. It was philosophical. Optics, don't know about that. Medicine, mechanics, and observational methods in disciplined ways. It does not say they did it in scientific ways. It says in disciplined ways, in which they probably had a way to do it, but it wasn't structured, or a lot of it wasn't based on empirical data. See, that's what naturalistic methodological naturalism works upon. It works upon empirical data. I'll read the rest for you, Chef. It says, Britannica and other standard references treat Islamic science as a major scientific tradition that helped prepare the ground for later scientific revolution. Once again, Encyclopedia Britannica, which is a second tertiary source. So if you prompt it to do this, it's going to say it for you. But we're going to find out what medieval science is. I want Chef on the run to sit up there and I want to let him finish explaining this.
Britannica and other standard references treat Islamic science as a major scientific tradition.
That's not how you say
that helped prepare the ground for the later scientific revolution. 2, yes, science. So it's not proto-science, but yes, science. If science means systematic investigation of nature through observation, reasoning, measurement, modeling, and sometimes experiment, then many medieval Islamic scholars absolutely practice science. This is especially clear in astronomy, optics, medicine, and parts of physics. Reference works note that experimentation was used to test or discriminate among explanations, especially in optics. 3, not fully modern science. They were not doing modern science. They were not doing fully modern science. They were not doing modern science. They were not doing modern science in the late.
And what are you arguing about? They weren't doing modern science. Modern science is the standard. The scientific method is the standard. Methodological naturalism is the standard. We're no longer dealing with philosophy anymore. You throw that out the window. Anybody can say, oh, I think Zeus caused the thunder. Oh, I think Artemis caused the wind to blow. That's philosophy. That's not empirical.
In the latter post-17th century sense of highly institutionalized laboratory science, standardized peer-reviewed journals, modern experimental apparatus, professional specialization, and tightly mathematized universal laws in the Newtonian or post-Newtonian framework. Their work belonged to a different intellectual world, often intertwined with Aristotelian philosophy, medicine, astronomy, theology, and courtly or scholarly patronage. A clean formula is medieval Islamic scholars practice science. A clean formula is medieval Islamic scholars practice science, specifically pre-modern medieval science. In some cases, their work can also be called proto-scientific relative to modern science, but calling it only proto-science understates what they achieved. Y'all get that? A good example is, we kept bringing this brother up, Ibn al-Haytham. Historians repeatedly point to his optics as involving observation, controlled inquiry, and experimentation. That does not make him a modern scientist in the full modern institutional sense, but it does make him far more than a proto-scientist in the weakest sense of someone before science truly began.
Well, no one's arguing that.
So my direct answer is they practice science. What did they practice? Science. More exactly, medieval or pre-modern science, not fully modern science. And proto-science is only useful if you mean an earlier historical stage of science.
Oh, you just killed us with that.
Yeah, come on, man.
You just killed us with that. Let's see what it says, because I'm going to pull your source now. I'm going to call you Smitty, Chef. Look at what it says. They practice science. Okay, we're going to find out what medieval science is. More exactly, medieval or pre-modern science. We're going to find out what it is. You should have cross-referenced your source. Not fully modern science. And proto-science is only useful if you mean, quote, unquote, an earlier historical stage of science. This article just went against you. You just committed pseudo-cide. So
I gotta drop these mops off to these people, bro. Gotta drop these mops off to these people.
You just committed pseudo-cide. Now, what I want to do now is go into his source. Because see, I pulled it. Science in the Middle Ages, rediscovering its latent genius. Science and religion in the Middle Ages. Here it is. Medievalist.net, where the Middle Ages began. We gonna pull it. Time to pull you on the carpet here. Let's read this by Bridget Hernandez. I don't even know who she is, but she certainly don't sound like an expert. There's no PhD, no school. I've researched her, couldn't find nothing on her. Found an Instagram page with a half-dressed woman on it named Bridget Hernandez, and I'm most certainly assured that wasn't her. So let's look. Now watch this, because it's going to explain to you what medieval science is. Now, let's read. The period between the fall of Rome and the beginning of the Renaissance is commonly referred to by two distinct names, the Middle Ages and Dark Ages. Roughly, we are looking at 10 centuries of what most scholars consider to be a scientific regression. Whoa! Oh, whoa! Led by the strong hand of the church. Let's continue. While it is true that the Middle Ages have caused traditional Greco-inspired sciences to fade into obscurity, their continued development ensured the Renaissance blooming later on. However, did science exist as we commonly refer to it today in the Middle Ages, or was research and study treated as a mere curiosity? Ooh, this hurts. The root word of science comes from the Latin word scientia, which is any field of knowledge. Did you hear that, Unc?
All right, loud and clear, bro.
This is any field of knowledge. Just because somebody pick up a spoon and bend it and make a knife out of it don't mean they was practicing no science. See, that's what y'all be miscommunicating to everybody, and this is straight from the source that you pulled. You pulled this source, Chef. You pulled it. You didn't cross-reference it, but let's continue on. The word science comes from the Latin word scientia, which is any field of knowledge from botany, mathematics, or even theology. Theology played a large part in shaping the European continent in the centuries following Christianity's canonization and subsequent Great Schism, which split Christianity. Given how dependent monarchs were of the church's approval for anything they did, both Catholic and Eastern Orthodox churches contributed to various fields of science independently. Remember what we said science is. It's many different fields, or any form of knowledge, is what I've been saying, what Unc been saying, what Cedric been bitching about. Monasteries were not only the homes of reclusive priests and monks seeking a connection to God, but also learned scholars and manuscript writers and artists. Let's keep going. Theology was closely integrated with other fields of science in the Middle Ages due to the time's inherent necessity to look for God's earthly footprints. Let's read that again. Theology was closely integrated with other fields of science in the Middle Ages due to the time's inherent necessity to look for God's earthly footprints. This is medieval science for you. Are you understanding that now, Chef? Are you seeing what I'm trying to tell you there? I'm going to repeat it again. Theology was closely integrated with other fields of science in the Middle Ages due to the time's inherent necessity to look for God's earthly footprints. This makes it difficult to distinguish the two today objectively, with primary sources all leaning heavily toward God as the ultimate architect of all things. Ooh, we can find that empirically, can't we? Monasteries as the Middle Ages universities. It's over now. It's over. It's over. A monastery cannot be considered a school because it's only going to put you in the field of philosophical naturalism. That's it. It's what Aunt been bitching about. It's what Cedric been bitching about. And it's what I've been saying. Just because you see the word science there, don't mean it's scientific. You don't need to be a scientist to add 1 + 1. A child can do that. That's abstract logic. Monasteries as the Middle Ages universities. The second reason as to why monasteries were the meccas of scientific research lies in the monks' level of education and familiarity with the scientific fields. The printing press was not invented by Gutenberg by 1440, and even then, printing was a luxury very few could afford. This made monasteries the perfect place for copying and storing original manuscripts from centuries past. When not in prayer or working in fields, monks spent most of their time reading, studying, copying, and preserving old manuscripts and creating new ones. As official universities started opening in the late 11th century, as with the University of Bologna or Bologna, whatever they want to call it, the traffic between monasteries and formal schooling institutions increased. Manuscripts were exchanged, copied, and spread throughout Europe, further increasing the church's presence in public life and academia. Much like today, the science of the Middle Ages was an international affair despite Christianity's heavy reliance on theology. Given the printing press's late introduction to the Middle Ages, translation and physical distribution of scientific texts took precedent. Universities across England, Germany, France, and Italy used Latin as the official international language. Much like we use English today, much like we use English today, period. Spain was particularly noteworthy for its translation of Islamic texts. Ain't that where you run into now, Chef? On the run? Let me repeat this. Spain was particularly noteworthy for its translation of Islamic texts back into Latin for international distribution. This has made previously unknown and thought lost scientific sources available again, prompting scholars to rediscover what was once lost to time. Now, both monastic orders and traders used this opportunity to distribute newly written and freshly copied tomes across Europe in hopes of spreading knowledge and enlightenment. Let me read a little bit more of this. The Middle Ages did much more than retread old ground laid out by ancient Greek scholars. Numerous scientific discoveries took place during the now infamous time period, despite the church's wishes that all the things be relegated to God. The invention of the mechanical clock dates back to the 14th century, where it found its place as a timekeeping tool used by, again, monastic orders. Oxford calculators, named for their place of invention, the Oxford University, have enabled scientists to measure elements such as speed and temperature with greater precision. First, eyeglasses were invented in the Middle Ages as a byproduct of research into optics and lenses. Following that, research into sunlight rays and light is often attributed solely to European scholars, but owes its roots to Muslim scholars in equal measure. While God has been placed at the center of creation in the Middle Ages, scholars didn't stray from asking big questions about how nature works. However, as stated, the two are interconnected on a fundamental level. You got to repeat that, because medieval scholars, they weren't really scientific. They were practicing the methods that we use today. It was all philosophical. There were some that asked that question. I'm not going to be historically absurd and act like they didn't say, well, what if God ain't real? I'm not going to do that. But they were shunned from that. Go read the story of Galileo once again. Let me repeat. However, as stated, the two are interconnected on a fundamental level, as it is almost impossible to look at science and theology as separate entities. Nah, Jose, I can't have you in here, bro. Not right now, brother. Not right now. This pseudo killers only, man. Matter of fact, I'll bring you up, man. I ain't gonna do you like that. Okay, so let's keep going. While God has been placed at the center of creation in the Middle Ages, okay, so let's go down. Astronomy as an epicenter of medieval curiosity. Let me read a little bit of this here. And it says, one needs to look up the starry sky to start wondering what the cosmos is really made of. This is the line of thinking that many scholars in the Middle Ages attempted to follow through on their research. We can trace the origins of cosmology to Plato and Aristotle, but their philosophies rely on earthly and forego the heavenly altogether. Medieval scholars were able to draw a parallel between the heavenly and earthly, justifying that what happens down here reflects on your journey up there. This also has been subjugated to Christianity and the notion of leading a healthy earthly life to ensure your place in the heavens. For medieval scientists, Earth was at the center of the cosmos, and everything else revolved around it. That is not to say that the scholars were oblivious to the solar system and planetary bodies as we know them today. Now, the astrolabe was a device which found its way to Europe from the Middle East in the 11th century and was used for astronomical predictions. Positions of planetary bodies were used closely with the zodiac. There's that philosophical reasoning again, to determine the best times to perform various earthly activities or medical procedures. Wow. Wow. Let me repeat that. Because you were throwing out medieval science. Let me repeat this again to you. What they were doing. So you can see it's not scientific. It's philosophical. Positions, let me read this. The astrolabe, was a device which found its way to Europe from the Middle East in the 11th century and was used for astronomical purposes. Positions of planetary bodies were used closely with the zodiac to determine the best times to perform various earthly activities or medical procedures. I want to turn my camera on. There it is. It's right there. It's right there. So the methodological or scientific method is the new standard. This cannot be the standard, and you cannot read from this and gaslight this article like you did. You have to cross-reference your sources correctly. Let's continue. In the 12th century, mathematics, arithmetic, and geometry slowly found their way into the field of astronomy, helping all these fields flourish going forward. Once again, mathematics is abstract thought, especially once you start getting into geometry. Now, planting the seeds of modern medical science. Medicine is a field which was seen in a drastically different light compared to today's way of thinking. Following the familiar pattern of theology, most diseases and ailments were seen as acts of God and punishment for mankind's misdeeds, such as was the case with the Black Death. Why I gotta be called the Black Death? Why I gotta be called that? But anyway, all right, let's keep going. Such as with the Black Death, notorious for its dissemination of the European decimation. I said dissemination. Decimation of the European continent, which was interpreted as mankind's ultimate punishment. However, people were not oblivious to the environmental disasters and climate changes, which, while equally godly, could be studied and anticipated more easily than sicknesses. As astronomy continued its development late into the Middle Ages, scholars were able to identify nature's patterns more clearly and contribute to the medical field. The idea of the spiritual mind and earthly body being interdependent originated from the Middle Ages, and we still refer to it today in academia. All right. So I want to read this last sentence, and we're going to just open it up. And it says, it's easy to look at the Middle Ages from the 21st century perspective and scoff at numerous mistakes and poor decisions made in scientific studies. However, without the foundations laid in medieval times, our understanding of sciences such as mathematics, astronomy, and crucially, medicine would be lacking severely. No one's arguing that. With the church's dominance in the Middle Ages being omnipotent, the only way any real scientific progress could have been made was under its wing. Today, we have the luxury of hindsight and are able to extrapolate what exactly long-form scholars thought of the world we live in. By looking back, we can pave the way forward and leave an even better foundation than those that follow in our footsteps. All right, so the source you pulled from, she is Bridget Hernandez, is a professional writer, editor, and self-proclaimed history buff. Don't sound like too much of a, what's it called to me? Don't sound like an expert to me, and this didn't even take long. This is where your source, this is where ChatGPT pulled the source from.
Question, Chris. So they wasn't even giving you, because he was basically talking about the House of Wisdom and all that. So,
Yeah.
So you saying his ChatGPT wasn't even pulling up those types of sources?
No.
That's crazy, bro.
He was gaslighting his own source.
So he was so you know ChatGPT will do you like that. It'll give you some information, you go check the source, it don't even be the source, it don't even fit that.
No. It's giving you a overview of the source. And what it does is it'll combine three sources
Yeah.
and give you an answer based on three sources. Because if you read it, you can see that the sources themselves were all competing against each other. But the common thread in that source was medieval science. And I showed you guys that medieval
Yeah,
science.
they didn't give. That's not even what he was talking about when he was actually trying to talk about the House of Wisdom and all that.
Right.
So, but I mean, but what you read off the Chat GPT was self-explanatory. But you know,
Yes.
they gaslighting and rage baiting, and the audience, you know, just a general hate of science anyway. They just basically disagreeing with anything. Because if you take a look at it, I mean, when he read it, it's exactly what we've been saying. That's crazy as I don't know what, bro. I don't know. I don't know what kind of games they playing, yo. At this point, it's just horrible, yo. Feel me? Yeah, I
So,
can't do that.
what's it called? Chef, the link is in the chat. You can come up here, and I would just ask you, why didn't you cross-reference this? Because she's agreeing with us.
Yeah, the thing he read agreed with us. It's just. I mean, you know what, yo, man, it's a scam. It's a scam, bro. And I don't know why. I don't know why they think they can just keep pulling that, yo. Brass did the same thing today, man. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden they say, well, it ain't modern, but that's the only thing we were talking about. The history of science. That's what I was doing. I wasn't doing the history of knowledge, the history of science the history of things close. I wasn't doing that. I was showing people how we got to modern science, bro.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, there's stages to it, and I told him today. I said it's a bridge. That particular period he's talking about is a bridge, but they're still natural philosophers, yo.
Yeah.
That's the point.
It's not right, and that's what like Godmine. He says, I didn't hear him say anything was the same as modern science. You're right, but
You're right.
when you're reading something like the source that he was reading from, it does mention science there, but it's talking about any field of knowledge. The word science is not synonymous with scientific. It's just not.
So this is what they missing, right? I told Chef. I said those natural philosophers, they're like a bridge to the scientific revolution. They're very close. And Chris, when you went back and read the source, it said just that. It said, now if you're trying to call it proto science, because they're a little bit farther than proto science. I told them that, bro. They said if you want to use proto science, then you got to say like right there, then it would be right there. It wouldn't just be, rudimentary. It's not that, right? But that's what we kept saying. Sosa said that. Like when we go back over, we're gonna go back over all the material that everybody was saying. And that's how we gotta do it. We gotta just keep doing it over and over again so people can see it. That's the only thing we've been saying.
Yeah.
That when you talk about that particular period, is right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you was to take Ibn, I can't even remember the rest of his name, Ibn Hans, I think that's how you pronounce it, right?
Mhm.
If you took him, right, and set him there with let's say other natural philosophers he'd be cool right there, him. But the question is, why do they keep mentioning one or two guys? They really focus on one guy because it's not an institution, and that's what we're really talking about. That's why it's close, because there's a couple guys doing it. That's why they keep naming the same people and the book of optics, the book of optics. Well, we've read that in the history of the scientific method, the timeline. So we'll go over these things. We'll go ahead. You're doing a great job, bro. But I need a ChatGPT be sleeping. Remember I said,
Yeah.
no more just ChatGPTs. We want to see the material that your ChatGPT is pulling off of. That's what we
Mhm.
want to see. But go ahead,
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah. So and as we begin to see, the source was agreeing with the philosophical naturalism method, in which the schools of academia were heavily influenced by Christian and maybe some Arab philosophies. You understand what I'm saying? I want to get into
Yep.
that too. Philosophically, an African and an Arab are not the same. Africans have different traditions, and they develop their knowledge differently than that of someone in East Asia. You understand
Mm.
what I'm saying? It's different. Their natures are different. Their value system is different. So their natures and their wisdom is not going to be the same based on their philosophical stance. And it's deeper than just saying you're wrong, I'm right, you're wrong. It's deeper than that, and you have to really get into them books and come up off Chat GPT. I really don't like Chat GPT. I would rather read, argue, be wrong, come back, read, argue, be wrong, come back until you say, you know what, you got it now, Chris. What is the standard that we use today? See, you just read about this tool that they use to determine if we can perform surgery on you or not. I would not want that. That's philosophical. That's a philosophical framework. That is not a scientific framework. Now, the word science, once again, can be knowledge of anything, but that doesn't mean it's scientific, because scientific is the method that we use today. It's simple. Jose Francis, go ahead, go ahead.
No, but scientific doesn't have to translate to science neither. It could be, but it doesn't have to. So sometimes you'll see something that's scientific or scientifically or scientific thought, and that doesn't necessarily have to equal science. It could. You just have to know the context of it. You get my point? So it's all about context and being able to apply it. But that's sort of, I can't believe this man read that. And I was like, why is he read it? We seen it. And we was like, dude, we've said no more than that.
Yeah.
And then he keeps saying, just because you hear the word science, right? That's not the measure. The measure is, how do we get to modern science? The House of Wisdom played a key role, right, in getting to that. It's the bridge. You know what I'm saying? We say, but it's not that yet. It's not that. On the other hand, that Reggie, he extended all the way to Kemet. It's ridiculous. The people in Kemet is nowhere near where those Islamic naturalists are. They're nowhere near them, right? The Greeks ain't near them. But the underlying thread between the Greeks, okay, and these people right here at the House of Wisdom is that authority, bro. All right, I'm telling you right now, the natural philosophers, take their authority basically from they call them let me see, Platonists, right? You got Platonists or Aristotelians, right? They never relinquished that. They critiqued it. They did different things like that. They corrected certain things, but they never relinquished the authority. And that's one of the main components of it. And like you say, bro, they trying to play tricks, bro. Because you could just take that page right there and put that into the chat GPT and say, can you explain this? You feel me? So we could just keep the thing going, bro. Because I'm never stopping. I love the conversation. And it right there, bro.
What's up, Jose? And then I'm gonna let Cedric go. What's up, Jose?
I want to apologize for ending the stream the other day. I didn't do it intentionally. I just wanted you to hear me say that.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
That's really what I wanted to do.
Yeah. It's all good.
But now here's the question, and I said this to Ankh. I find that Ankh leads more towards a Eurocentric point of view from me. It seems that he elevates the Greeks above Africans. I could be
That's
wrong.
not what this. Hold on. That's not what this. Hold on. That's not what this is about tonight. I don't want to get into those because that turns into a pissing contest. And I don't doing that.
No, I ain't. I'm not pissing. We're not even talking about the time period right now.
So let's talk about Islam. How can we elevate Islam above something that can't?
He does not.
I didn't do it.
I got it. He did not elevate Islam above anything. You need to go. You should go to the Carnivorous podcast on that. What is the scientific method we use today, Jose Francis?
Well, the scientific method would be that you have something has to be falsifiable.
That's right.
Be able to experiment and say, we prove this or disprove it using something empirical that does not have to do with our personal beliefs that we hold.
Okay, were they working within that framework in antiquity during the Bronze Age or Iron Age?
Well, I mean, when we go back in ancient times, there was always, I guess, sort of a bias when we're mixing these things in with spirituality, at least from the African perspective.
Okay, so we're working with a framework, right?
Say it again?
We're working with a philosophical framework, right?
Yeah, well, yes, we could that's a fair assessment, yes.
Thank you. Cedric, go ahead, bro.
Beautiful, beautiful job, Chris. Peace to the God killer, peace to say. Yeah, we're right there. Like I said, I've sat on my position. I've been using two words, logical naturalism, and I've coupled that with is the science, right? And I use these terminologies because I understand the conflation that exists within the history of science and how these terminologies can be confusing. So now we're at the point that we understand when we talk about science, it is a it is a philosophical framework which says nature is going to be the authority. The scientific method is a package of tools used to communicate with nature. A lot of those tools were developed during uh, the Islamic Golden Age. However, the Islamic Golden Age was firmly rooted in the authoritative structure of natural philosophy, which meant that the structure of reality within which they were operated was a theological one, purpose driven, and based on rational deduction, aka whatever the authority perceived it to be. That's why I keep using particular points in history. The concept of heavier things falling faster was the Aristotelian framework within which the Islamic natural philosophers operate. So when we look at methodological naturalism, we are seeing tools developed to understand nature. A lot of them are rooted in the Islamic age. Those tools come back in the operating system, in the software of methodological naturalism, empirical observation, experimentation, uh, 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 hypotheses. There must be a there, and the core of it is that nature speaks for itself. Nature, only natural explanation, no supernatural and no metaphysical. So you can't just have an idea. You need to substantiate that claim. So this is the foundation. Later on, peer review and the institutionalization. So this is also a process of over 200 years. The development of methodological naturalism, the philosophical framework, which is science. The scientific method uses instruments and tools developed in different civilizations. For astronomy, we see tools used that were developed in Babylonia and then later refined in Greece, right? So as the mathematics, these are the tools. You see them coming back later in methodological naturalism. But even the Copernicus dilemma illustrates that the Arab world was firmly rooted within that authoritative structure. Thus,
Got,
not
got a
science.
question. Got a question for you, Cedric. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So, what do you think? What do you think of the way Chef actually lied on the source right in front of our eyes? Because that's really what happened. He misread it. He didn't understand what he was reading, and that's a common theme here. Because it's
Yeah.
clearly telling him it's not there yet, right? Medieval science, right, is medieval science. It's not actually science. It's medieval science.
Yeah. Knowledge, medieval knowledge, and the knowledge system is based in natural philosophy. And
Correct.
we understand the tenets of natural philosophy. Natural philosophy has its operating system: theological, deductive, and there are some experimentations, but it is rational based. So the authority of the individual, this is the framework of natural philosophy. So you get the Aristotelian school of thought. Aristotelian school of thought contains a lot of philosophical notions of dailies, the ideas of arc, right? The fundamental substance of reality. What natural philosophy did in its evolution, because it lasted 2,000 years, you see them moving from Zeus to nature itself containing divine force. So this is all within a philosophical framework. The school were people coming together and exchanging ideas. Chris would have been noted in history for having established about 20 philosophical ideas because the way he's able to articulate whatever point. He would articulate a point and we would sit there and say, that is profound. Consensus? Chris's assertion or his theory of how this particular phenomena operates will be the operating system under which we continue to build.
So
Right?
so basically, I just want to add this, the continuing um, of mentioning one person, it proves the actual point, right? Like there's no actual governing body, like there's no institution, there's no institutionalized peer review, right? There's none of that.
No.
And I told you I'm going to do my presentation. I've been in the lab, I got it, right?
Mhm.
I think it's important to know that, bro. Like that stuff, it ain't there yet, bro. But it's a bridge, though. But the outright line, I gotta say, it's outright line and deception at this point,
Yeah.
right? Because you read, he types it in, they read it, they see what it's saying, and then they all agree, no, it's not modern science. And then he says, well, it's yeah, you're right. Science matured in Europe. I agree with that. Okay, then why argue with me then? Because
But
I'm talking about the history
they're
of
doing
science.
they're doing the prefix game. From the time they put modern in front, right? They're doing the prefix game. They're creating that linear line, right? So then we have ancient science, right? And then we have medieval science, and then we have modern science, the natural progression.
Not
That
true.
is philosophically and academically incorrect. There
Correct.
is an epistemic rupture. There is a paradigm shift, right? It is clear that
Yeah,
around
they're
the
right there.
1500s, the
Mm-hmm.
authority started to lose power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
The discovery of the new world. So you have the early thinkers like Boyle and Copernicus he is at that pivotal point where he moved the sun to the center, but it was not because of a methodological position. It was of a philosophical position. The uniformity of nature, right? Everything had to be in perfect circular motion. So his modeling was based on a philosophical position. It is Boyle and then later Galileo that completely orchestrated that rupture. So you see within the scientific revolution, you see how methodological naturalism is
Copernicus.
starting to form and becoming
Yeah,
solidified, right?
yeah.
And once you,
Copernicus, he would have actually. I think he was following a Platonist.
yes, he was still a Platonist. So
So it's
even though he moved the model from Earth center to the sun in the center, he went to the heliocentric model. It was on a philosophical basis. It was not on an empirical basis, right? There was no, there was no telescope involved or anything like that. What he was doing was using the math, right? And adjusting his alignment to fit the math so that philosophical foundation of the
but
uniformity of the universe.
you know what another lie was? You know what another lie was? That Copernicus actually read or copied those Islamic texts. That's not true.
No,
Even
that's not true.
he never. There's no evidence of that. But he said it out of his mouth, though, bro.
Yeah,
He
that's not
just
true.
that's a straight scam, bro. He made that up.
Yeah, he
He
made that
made
up.
that up. Yeah, he made that up.
He
Made it
had
up. No
the
evidence.
mathematics. The mathematics is what he used, and the mathematics um from uh, from the I can't remember the word. I'm preparing a presentation on it, so that's why I'm engaging in the dialogue. There was an Arab mathematician that corrected or put a plaster on the math because the eclipse that they were detecting was not within the philosophical framework of the uniformity of the universe. Right? It needed to be these motions needed to be completely uh, a circle, a completely circular. So that eclipse that they noted in the equation, and there was an Arab scholar that tweaked the equation, right? I'm going to remember the name by the time we're doing the presentation. That tweaked the equation so that it would fit within the uniformity of that philosophical framework. It was not based on empiricism that Copernicus changed his model. The math that he was engaging with forced him to maintain that philosophical framework to move the sun to the center. So it was at that point still Copernicus is operating on philosophical ground, not empiricism. The empiricism begins to come around the late 1500s, early 1600s, and by the time Galileo gets there, right, you see that the church wants to chop his head off because he now establishes, he takes the authority away from the uniformity of the eclipses and all of this. He says no, there's an eclipse, and that's just the way it is. We have to accept it. The math is
So
there. So your
my,
philosophical position as church is not relevant, and that's why they
mm,
want to chop his head off and not Copernicus' head off.
mm. Yeah, so I realize that people just can't read, brother. I understand that now. And when I say read, I don't mean mispronounce words, yo. I mean literally, they read something they can't comprehend it at all, So
Yeah.
I'm, at this point, that I can't even have clear conversations with people no more.
But I
You know what I'm
appreciate him
saying?
though. I
Yeah,
appreciate him though.
I
'Cause
appreciate them producing that material to beat it after death. Definitely appreciate that.
we got content, and it's
I
forcing me
appreciate the
to
content.
do the reading, and I'm enjoying doing the reading and
They're
deep
not
diving
reading. They're
in.
not. They're
Yeah,
not reading,
yeah, we
You could
actually
tell
read. Yeah, we
because
actually read.
those words they can't get those words right. They hit it, and then they committing the whole you gotta have science routine. Like what? Yeah,
Scientism
I mean, they
101.
stuck on that, bro. Scientism 101, bro. You gotta have science. No, you don't. You don't gotta have science. But there is a role that was played. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a role that was played, bro.
Understand that science, methodological naturalism, is a philosophical framework, right? So there's a paradigm shift in the way we're thinking. We're moving from theological, authoritative, to a philosophical framework that says, no, nature must do the speaking, nature must be the authority. That's the philosophical framework. So that requires a shift in thinking. So now, once that shift in thinking, you can apply the same tools with a different frame of reference, right? So yes, the tools were there.
Hmm.
A lot of them was later further developed. So we give
It's hard.
the Islamic golden age a lot of credit for the math they developed and the instruments they developed. But that doesn't mean that they themselves were engaging in methodological naturalism. That comes a couple of hundred years later, after the Islamic revolution,
You,
golden
you
age.
know what's funny? You know what's funny? They wasn't sitting there saying we're gonna produce a scientific experiment.
No, no.
I think everybody missed that point. Yeah, they was not. That's not what it was.
Yeah, the result
It's not
focus.
what it was. Right. That wasn't what it was. You can believe that. That wasn't what it was. But by the time you go through that scientific revolution, they was definitely trying to produce scientific shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's a
mean,
whole other thing.
it was intentional,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have
Intentional.
a philosophical framework and you're already operating, so I have this position, I am going to do some experiments to establish how
Mm-hmm.
I can explain this. That is different than what we do with methodological naturalism. Methodological naturalism says, collect a bunch of data and now see what the data says. And
Yeah.
now the data says it is so and so and so. So you don't lead with your bias or with your conclusion and try to affirm that. That is that is authoritative. That is
Let
my
me
position,
mm,
not
let me
nature's position. Go ahead.
let me answer a question and the thing. No. We could just take it back a little bit farther. He said, "Would modern science exist without medieval science?" I would like to take it a little bit farther back. I would say from the ancient indigenous cultures, without those cultures, that there would not be no science.
Yes,
I would absolutely say that.
there'll be
Absolutely.
no humanity.
Yeah, no doubt. That's no side joke. You need those early cultures. You need those early hunter gatherers. You need to move to 3000 BCE. You need to get the Bronze Age, the Iron Age civilizations. You need the Nile Valley. You need China. You need Indus Valley. Yeah, you need all that. Yeah, and
Knowledge.
that's how hard the subject is, though, bro. And
Mhm.
I think they think it's easy. You know what I'm saying? That's what I realized. They think it's easy. It's not that. It's not that,
Mhm.
yo. It's
No.
not that. Is that so imagine they right now, this conversation, we're thinking, hey man, it's easy to get out of Africa, ain't we, yo? We look at the maps. Look at the map. It's easy to get out of Africa.
Yeah, just get on the highway.
Take it easy, guys.
Make sure you got enough gas. You can
Yeah.
even cross the Sahara. You can drive straight across the Sahara.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, he is live on his channel right now, and he is now conceding. Literally, he's conceding.
He has to.
It's been another PKO. We have nothing more to say. Another PKO. He is live conceding. He has put it up. Chris Harris is cooking me right now. It's over. This has been another PKO, another pseudo knocked out. Go
Nah,
figure
he's
that
scamming.
out.
He's scamming. I ain't finished. I'm just getting started with him, man.
Yeah.
I'm just getting started.
I got a
Yeah.
series for production. I got a
Yeah, I just
whole
got started.
series
Yeah, I'm just getting
of
started.
presentations ready, bro.
Brass ass is grass. Listen, he want to jump in and play like he ain't fighting. You in the car, bro. You get shot up immediately. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he get got immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, he done. You done, Brass. You put your hat in the ring. I'm on you. I'm taking the weakest link out first. The fake boss. I'm on you. You know what it is. We ain't worried
Energizer
about
Bunny.
concrete. We ain't worried about concrete bullet in the head. We ain't worried about him.
Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, we ain't worried about him. He came in there being a nut. Yeah, we ain't worried about the nuts. We good. You know what I'm saying?
If you
Yeah,
look
we ain't worried
at
about
it,
Reggie. Reggie
no.
said the chimpanzees had science.
Yeah.
Yeah, Homo erectus had science. That's what he said. He said you need science to have technology. Remember all them statements? Yeah.
Look at your starting five. Look at your starting five, and look at his starting five. We already up by 100.
Now we got a whole team. We not only got a starting five, we got a whole everything. What you mean? Got a league, bro? What you
A
talking
league.
about? A whole league? What are you saying, bro? Yeah, they down
We
by
up by
50.
100 before the game start, bro.
Where's Gull at? Where the hell Gull at?
Yeah. You got a person that is watching a chart in front of him. He's looking at the chart. It says order, simian, monkey, primates, all synonyms. Out of that order, you get two sister clades.
What we call him faker? What we call him the faker? He ain't the truth. He's the faker.
Out of that, you get two sister clades. Caterini, New World monkeys. Catherine, Old World monkeys. My young man is stuck right there. He cannot comprehend that if the order is called
He
monkeys,
next.
how you
He
got
next.
New World and Old World monkeys and saying that we are Caterini. How can we be Caterini if Caterini is the Old World monkey and the primates are simians? Man, you want to argue with me, and you got the chart in front of you.
Well, let's just look at it like this, right? Because the bottom line is when no one said that Africans didn't have any knowledge.
Yeah.
When you look at the word science means knowledge in any field also. knowledge of any kind. And when I think you guys are getting scientific and science, you guys are conflating them. And this is all I'm trying to tell y'all. No one's saying that they didn't have any knowledge, and you guys are getting very sensitive about this for some odd reason.
Because
No
they
one
white
said
boys.
that at
Because they
all.
white boys. That's why. That's why they love white people. That's what it is, yo. Think about that for a minute, Chris. You think that China wasn't nothing? How about China? How about the Needham question? Right? How about that? Go ahead, Chris. I'm just saying they overdoing it.
Yeah, so it is what it is. I just don't understand. I mean, Chef, you pulled a source and you did not cross-reference it correctly. That's on you.
He did it on purpose, bro. What you mean on him? He didn't care. He trying to come on, man. Nah, I care. Before I put my material out, I'm gonna read the source it's coming from.
Chef, I know Chef ain't playing my live stream on his channel.
Probably is.
Yeah, that's something Chef would do. Just for the
Yeah,
record,
that's what he
I'm
do.
using one source, the philosophy of science. That's the only source. All these presentations are coming from one source. It's just that I know how to synthesize the material. One source. One source, the philosophy of science. It takes you into all of these avenues. But if you look at the philosophy of science, that's a whole lot of reading. That is not stuff you read to go and rebuttal somebody based on your emotions. It takes you into naturalism. It takes you into metaphysical naturalism. It takes you into methodological
Turn the light on
naturalism.
down there.
It takes you into philosophical naturalism. It takes you into empiricism, right? It takes you into the different philosophers that contributed the establishment of this philosophical framework. So y'all are arguing from mechanism, from what you see being done. You see someone measuring something, all of a sudden that is science. No, science, you are looking at the tools and equating the tools with the philosophical framework. So that's why you can't find a holistic set of tools nowhere else but in the scientific revolution, because the framework under which these other cultures were operating did not require them separating their technology from their supernatural or divine origin. The chi in Chinese philosophy was enough to suffice for their philosophical framework to develop their body.
So I wonder why that's hard to understand though, yo. I wonder why they feel it to be hard to understand, because that's it. That whole scientific revolution is a paradigm shift. You know what I'm saying? Like the Egyptians didn't have that. You got Joseph on there right now. He'll tell you. He can tell you exactly how the Egyptians operated, yo. And he can talk about the temple knowledge and the wisdom, right? And the high level of math and technology, man. I bet you he could tell you that. Where you at, Joe? Is he on there?
He does.
Huh?
He does.
Oh yeah. See, he could tell you that. So I don't know what's the you hear the whole conscious community say that though, bro. I mean, that's I mean, don't they, or was it, am I tripping or something?
They don't want it no more. They want to have it.
Yeah, I could have sworn they said all their knowledge was hooked to their spiritual traditions. I don't know.
You tricked them now. Everybody needs science, so now everybody needs to go to college. So you can't be anti-academia. You can't say white man science anymore.
You can't do it.
All right? So we're not doing that anymore, conscious community. Everybody go to college. There's no white man science. Get your vaccine, because science is the rule and the order, right?
Yeah.
We all have science, right?
Yeah. We all got cumulative knowledge. We're good with each other.
What's good, brother? How you doing, man? What you call him? What's his name? What's his name? The fake truth. What you call him?
The fakers. The fakers, yo.
The fakers.
They don't know what the arguing. Shooting over. Shooting and missing.
Shooting over the rim, yo. Man, calm that down. Calm that loud mouth down.
Then he can't comprehend what he reading. That's the wild part.
Yeah. I even read in my book, bro, that you know what I'm saying, he fighting nomenclature, bro. I ain't talking about no nomenclature. Nomenclature is not even fixed. You know what I'm saying? So old world monkey can belong to category. And if you want to, go based off the monophyletic, rule, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta keep that consistent. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I'm gonna break it down though. We're gonna see what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
let
need
me
to
know.
just do your presentation
And then too,
again.
I ain't say too, you know what I'm saying? Human beings, you know what I'm saying? Us being, you know what I'm saying, the primates that we are, uh, us, our biological niche, and also, you know what I'm saying, other, you know what I'm saying, our close relative, you know what I'm saying, primate too, like chimpanzee, bonobos, and gorillas, we are environmental engineers. You know what I'm saying? That's our, biological niche. Anyway, so we already set up for that. So
Yeah. Only one animal can occupy a niche anyway, though. Feel me?
yeah.
They don't even know that. We
Yeah.
argue when people don't even know that. One animal, one niche. You feel me? You know what
Yeah,
I
that's
mean?
why you got that's why you got things like you know what I'm saying, evolution, like what they call it, evolution, where you can have two things
Convergent evolution.
looking. Yeah,
Convergent evolution.
convergent evolution. Yeah, convergent
Mm-hmm.
evolution. That's what you had it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I thought seen in Australia, you know what I'm saying, what they call the Tasmanian wolf can look like a dog even though it's marsupial,
Mm-hmm.
because they play that same niche and that same role in nature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can't. So like gorillas and chimpanzees don't occupy the same niche, right?
Nope.
Them chimpanzees, boy, they mess with that fruit. Them gorillas they can eat them leaves. They don't like them, but when them chimpanzees come around, bro,
Oh
they
yeah,
going
yeah.
back to the leaves. They not trying to compete with them.
Yeah.
They can eat them leaves. They don't like them, but yeah, they can get down. Yeah, they ain't study primate behavior, bro. They don't know what we are, bro. I mean, just caught Chef cheating though. He cheating, scamming.
Yeah,
I told him,
listen,
go get a source, yo. He did for like 3 weeks now. Go get a source, yo. Go read it from the source. Because all you gotta do is just get the source and then pop that source into that chat GPT to make sure that source is saying what you say it said. That's how we playing the game going forward. Just like that. So if you can't do that, you cheating. I ain't trying to hear that chat GPT. I don't believe it. Yeah, I don't know. What is it reading from? ChatGPT be daydreaming. It tell you right on the joint. Yeah, get the source, read the source. Stop being lazy. So we're gonna get all the lazy people there though.
yeah, they gonna have
Yeah,
to
we're gonna get
see
the lazy
now.
people.
So now that you're in the realm of philosophy, philosophy requires
Yeah,
reading, requires reading, boys. You cannot wing it. You're
ain't
gonna
no
get
wing wing.
tripped up. Because anytime you make a step, there's another philosophical paradigm waiting to address. So don't go too deep down the rabbit hole because you're gonna start to engage in concepts like materialism, empiricism, epistemology. So this is the area you are playing in. Are you sure you want to swim in these waters? If this level of our conversation has you this confused that you cannot separate these two philosophical principles, philosophical natural philosophy and methodological naturalism. If you cannot separate these two philosophical concepts, if you continue to make these infantile mistakes, you are going to drown in this arena. Get out while you can. Y'all natural philosophers, y'all who want to make it up as you go along. Your
Ain't gonna be able
time
to
on
do
this
it.
planet has passed. We are in the age of methodological naturalism. Far advanced. We are in the space age of that process. So
Yeah, he can't get to
empiricism is the rule of the order. We, human beings, are but communicators of what nature dictates. You do not get to make it up anymore. The
that. Nah,
days of
I
the
ain't with that
barbershop
shit.
philosophy is over and done.
Yeah, we're gonna check your Mati. We're gonna see. We're gonna check your reading list. We're gonna see what you got. We're gonna check you. We won't read your sources. We don't believe. We don't trust you. Can't trust you now. Can't trust him. Scamming. Kept saying, sit there and read it to us, and then say something different from what he reading. Okay, can't trust you, bro. You're done.
Yeah, Chef. Since you live, I did hear JJ up there talking about he's in a roofing union and roofing is scientific. I laughed my ass off today after hearing that. I couldn't believe you had that up there. That was hilarious.
Is
And
the
then
union scientific or roofing? Which one?
I did not know roofing was scientific, brother. You had him on your panel, and then he read from another source to explain what he do every day. I died laughing when I heard that. It was comedy gold.
Yeah. So Jose, so Jose from Monterey, them, you know what I'm saying? they
Yeah, I ain't laughing at that man work. Y'all crazy. I ain't let that man get money.
I'm just saying it ain't funny. I mean, I ain't sure. I build, you know what I'm saying, build generators. I ain't no side.
No, I'm just saying I ain't laughing at nigga. Laughing at Chef though, the barber. He done fake niggas out like he was really reading. That nigga ain't reading. He ain't even reading the ChatGPT sources. Going live too much there, Chef. Gotta sit down and read some of that shit. Then come on back and say, yeah, I'm wrong, yo. Them niggas got me, yo. I was wrong, yo. Crazy. I can't believe he read that shit, man.
Nobody wins.
I cannot believe he read that, yo, and didn't understand what he was reading, bro.
Oh, we got the clips. He said natural.
You gotta run that again, Chris. You gotta run that again.
Natural philosopher.
Crazy shit.
We got the clips. He said natural philosopher.
Crazy shit.
It's best. It is best to identify.
You said what? All right, you got it.
This is something else he did today. I want to show you all this because I've been watching. I want y'all to see. How, hey, y'all say it. I just play it. It's right here. Can y'all can see it now? Somebody, let's read. Let's listen.
Yeah, then in the chat scam, he gonna do, man, get out of here, man. Cornball, yo. We call that cornball scholarship. When you lie and get caught, then you try to play like it ain't what it is. Come on, bro. Yeah, come on, bro.
Let's go back. Let's hear it.
All right, let's see what we got. Yeah. Who? All right, what you got?
Nobody.
Hey, mic drop.
Share the volume.
Yeah, we need you was talking? We couldn't hear you, bro.
You can hear it?
No, didn't hear nothing. You got the music playing. Got the music rocking.
Okay, hold on. Let me turn that off. Let me stop the screen altogether. Stop sharing. Let's get a reset here. Boom. Screen. Boom. I like looking at people's methodology. That's all. That's the fun shit to me. All right. So this person is going in on ChatGPT once again on philosophical, methodological philosophy or philosophical naturalism. And let's go back. Okay, let's see what he got to say. Y'all gonna like this.
I'm not talking to you or about you.
I got it, Jules. Keep going.
So, pay attention.
A minute. Take a minute.
Pay attention to who people are labeling these terms and make sure you understand the difference between a natural philosopher and a philosophical naturalist or someone that's applying philosophical naturalism. Make sure you understand the difference. Keep going though, Brad.
Okay. I'm not doing all of this, by the way, but I find it all funny and I'm in full support. This is a belief system, not a job. The idea that everything exists is natural, no supernatural causes. Here's the key point. It's about what you believe reality is made of, not about running it. So this wouldn't be Newton, this wouldn't be Galileo.
Who's arguing with that point right there? Nobody up here.
No, that's the game, yo. That's the game, yo. Remember that? The smoke and mirror. They made it the whole points that they want to argue. Anybody argue?
Yeah, that's the deep water that you can't swim in, right? So philosophical naturalism is a position that is outside the realm of methodological naturalism. Why? Science posits no absolute, right? So it
What?
makes no claim either way. Philosophical
What?
naturalism is a philosophical position that you
Oh, because
don't
I
have
just
to test,
you can turn it off.
right? So a materialist can be a hard materialist and be a philosophical naturalist and say only only nature exists. That's it, nothing else, right? That would align with a position of hard atheism. These are all philosophical positions. It has nothing to do with science, but science is a philosophical framework under which natural philosophy operates, right? But it makes no absolute claims. It's just a tool to investigate nature, right? So it stands outside of anyone's philosophical position, whether you're a hard, whether you're a philosophical naturalist, whether you're a hardcore Christian, whether you're a panpsychist, whatever your philosophical position is, you can do you can engage in methodological naturalism. It is a tool separate from your belief system to investigate the natural world. It has eliminated human authority.
Hey, Cedric. Great point. Let me see. So, Chris,
What up, though?
play the 5 threats and watch how they gaslight and
The
raise
5
bait.
threats.
The 5 threats. You got that? They threatened us. It was that yesterday video about the atheism, just making up shit. Like shit we ain't even say, just doing it on purpose. Right? Just throwing out there to the people because they got a radio show and can talk. You know what I mean?
Let's go here. Let me go here. They did the 5 threats. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it on this video. Meanwhile, while I look for it, I'm gonna keep playing this.
So the trap that people will try to set is
boom, mic drop.
Philosopher. So he follows philosophical naturalism. That's false. Newton believed in God, but he did not follow strict philosophical naturalism. But he still did what we now call science. Natural philosophy is a historical title. Philosophical naturalism is a worldview. One is what you do, the other is what you believe. Now I got to get to my brother Thunder. Go ahead.
Yeah, whatever he's done, come back to me because I got more.
Didn't I
go
just
ahead.
explain that?
And there are no.
somebody asked- You see how I could explain that just off the dome, just off my head? Don't you see how familiar I am with this territory? Y'all are gonna drown, and that is completely non sequitur. So now you're engaging in an individual's philosophical position. And when science absolutely proves that one's philosophical position holds no merit within the framework of methodological
And you do want to
naturalism.
use this,
Y'all
though.
really want to go there with me? I'm going to drown y'all. Completely non sequitur.
It's all buzzwords, man, and context clues. That's all I'm hearing.
Yeah, because that's not the argument we're having. We're talking about the frameworks and a system of investigating the natural world. Y'all want to reduce the conversation, right? Pick up the goalposts and engage in an individual's philosophical position. We don't know what someone's thinking. That's irrelevant to this conversation. Each individual person can have a different philosophical position. That is the beauty of methodological naturalism. You're stating it right there. However, this is common knowledge amongst individuals that understand these philosophical concepts and have studied the theory of science. Then you would already have understood all of this. You didn't delve into metaphysical naturalism. That is also an aspect of natural philosophy.
Well, here at this point of their argument, because I was looking at this. This is the new one here. It said somebody pulled up. It's proto-science in reference to a time period, and niggas. It said no. Proto-science is not strictly a time period. It's a label for a type of stage of knowledge. See, knowledge, science is knowledge.
See, Chef, you gotta come back around, man. We're gonna wake you up, man. This is when you're dying at your own source. I can do this all day on the panel.
Proto-science is not science. That's the point. But it's it's knowledge. It is.
It's knowledge.
It's a body of knowledge.
That's in
It's
reference to the word
systemized.
science. Knowledge
Correct.
and science are synonymous.
I keep telling the proto-science is not fucking science, yo, but they don't care. They don't care, bro. They act like a bunch of retards at this point. They don't care.
I am doing some research in the current philosophical position of modern historians of science, where they are trying to divorce these type of labelings. Why? It creates a semantic confusion, and it also creates a tendency to look down at ancient cultures.
Correct.
So these words like proto-science, pre-science, they are going to eliminate them eventually and start to look at these cultures holistically.
Look at their knowledge.
Look at their knowledge system.
Wisdom.
Void from these modern labels of science, scientific, and proto. They are moving away from them. And the dilemma we're seeing here right now is indicative of why authors like Francesco Rauschenberg has been warning of the use of these anachronistic labels. What we're doing is historical anachronism when we use words like proto-science, scientific. We see the scientific method here, right? We are creating the illusion as if there's a linear progression, as if these people would failed attempt at modern science. They didn't reach there yet. That's not their objective. Holistically,
they're not setting out to do. They're not setting out to do that.
No,
they're not. That's not they. You know, they can say what they want. They can get the laughs and the jokes, right? They got the whole pseudo army backing them, and that should tell. That should be a tell. Reggie diving out the window, signs. Man, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Homo erectus practice science, man. Get out of here, bro. It takes science to have tools, man. Knock it off, bro. knock it off, bro. You know what I'm saying? Then the day you try to switch it up. Now, I didn't say that, yeah. But if you say that humans need science to create quote unquote tools, right? And engineering, right? Then Australopithecine had science then, right? Homo erectus had science. Olduvai Gorge. You know what I mean? They had, come on, bro. Olduvai Gorge, 2.5 million, 3 million, right? So they had science then, huh? No, stop it. Scientific thinking. Scientific thinking is not science. Okay?
Yeah, that's rationality.
And then on top of that, Cedric, if I'm sitting there reading a damn article talking about the history of the scientific method, okay, then obviously you ain't got science yet. Right? If I'm talking about the history, right? If I'm in day one and they run around and they ain't got no equipment on the history of the football, dude, they out there playing sand. They ain't got no pad. They ain't got nothing. Man, I'm starting at that point, bro. Like that we ain't at the finished game yet. We ain't there yet. Yeah, and that's them disrespecting the ancient knowledge and wisdom, yo.
Yeah,
that's them doing that. I'm not doing that. I got profound respect. I have some respect for them. I think it's a beautiful thing to connect your culture and your traditions, right? And your math with your spiritual social system and develop plants, you know, for medicine. Yo, I think that's beautiful, bro.
It is
song
beautiful.
And folklore, right? I think science is very dry, right?
Is.
You know what I'm saying? Very plain and very matter of fact.
Yeah,
there's no cultural identity around it.
Yeah, no poetry to it, no identity. It's dry, it's sterile, it's chicken without flavor, right? Because all you want to have then is the chicken, right? However, when we allow to appreciate cultures within their cultural context, you have a much more nuanced understanding and appreciation for cultures altogether. So we're never practicing scientists. We never have. We promote scientific literacy to avoid this type of problem. Scientific literacy would have you engaging in the theory of science, right? In the philosophy of science, and you would not be boggled down
Get
and
all
have all this emotional reaction when we simply are talking about the history of human development, right?
yeah,
Human development. No point
yeah.
in time has the focus been on a specific group of people. We are
You
talking about a tool that is
you
universally
know what's crazy?
applicable.
When that man read that damn article and it says science has no real starting point. You know what I'm saying? Like no one place. Like you ain't understand that what you reading there, yo?
Knowledge of that. How are you going to define when knowledge starts?
Man, listen, bro. You know what I mean? Come on, man. And Ding didn't understand what. Man, I don't know, bro.
You're out of your league, Unc. You're going to see science didn't have no starting point. And say, see, everybody was
How the fuck I'm
practicing.
out of my damn league? Right. Dumb shit.
So for you go from
Excuse
having
my language.
science, having knowledge, to practicing science. You see the bait and switch in the wording right there, right? Or
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
how they collapse ancient astronomy. So even that word, they're going to move away from it. They're going to start to talk about ancient timekeeping. Why? Because using the word astronomy, you see people say, well, if they had ancient astronomy, a timekeeping tool, it is a linear progression, right, towards nuclear fusion, understanding nuclear fusion and planetary expansion, right? That's not a direct line because you see a word. The same word is used in two different contexts, right? And all what that is synonymous is that they use the sky. The use of the sky is what makes that word
What are
synonymous.
you talking
The
about? What are you talking about, Seth? You talking about the
astronomy, like the same faker in a conversation, he's trying to collapse medieval astronomy.
man,
with-
that's it. It's just man, it's just me,
Oh,
nigga. Y'all don't read no damn books. You don't know what the hell you talking about.
yeah, huh?
All right, Mesopotamia had proto-astronomy. Shut the hell up. That's it. Come
Yeah,
on, man. Like ain't nobody gotta go through that. They only come on, yo. Big up to Anthony, man. Space Age African, man. Space Age Astronomy Club, bro. They go get it, go spend some money. Then come holler at us. Spend some money, come holler at us, yo. That's all I'm saying. Don't even talk to me about that.
so
It's crazy, bro.
Copernicus didn't have a telescope.
Yeah, don't even talk to me, bro. I ain't come on, bro. You got dudes who had the Google telescope right now. I ain't doing all that, bro.
So astronomy, the astronomy, quote unquote, that Copernicus was doing
Lights,
was mathematical model
lights.
off of observation, right?
Yeah, I
There
ain't
was
doing
no
all that shit, man.
telescope
I ain't
yet.
doing that shit.
How are you going to equate astronomy pre-telescope with astronomy prior to that? The one system was used basically for timekeeping, and the other has a total different conceptualization altogether.
Archaeology. Archae. Oh, man. Yeah, man. Where you at, Chris?
We're trying to find that clip. Listen, Chef beat his own self up so bad. I've never seen someone sat on a stage and self-mutilate themselves. Natural philosophy. I did a presentation yesterday explaining what natural philosophy is. Today, Chef goes and double down on natural philosophy. Okay, Chef, then you agree they are not practicing science. Because
Double down and
science
hold on. He
is
double down and did
methodology.
what though? He did
No,
what? Yeah?
his whole presentation. Remember, I clipped him up. I got him clipped up. Saying in his show from last night,
Yeah.
natural philosophy, Chef, and he read it. It is best to refer to them as natural philosophers. Yes, natural philosophers. Yes. What is philosophy in that context? Simply theological, rational deduction, minimal experimentation, and experimentation as in terms of confirming your theory, your
God damn.
theory which is based on deduction.
Mm.
Even
So
in yeah, go ahead.
hey Chris, the clip is from last night's show.
What's up, gentlemen? It's Consul. What's going on?
What it
What's
do,
up, Council? How you doing?
What's happening, man? What's happening? I'm a little
Keeping that
intrigued
shit good.
by this particular topic.
I bet you is.
I want to talk about it, man.
Huh?
I had a question for the panel. I'm just curious. What's the difference between an enthusiast of science and a scientist?
An enthusiast is a person that talks about it, like science writers. Sometimes they're ex-scientists. An enthusiast is a person that like I'm a science enthusiast, right? I like to transmit scientific ideas, push and promote STEM, big up to Dr. Oyamiyat, conscious ingenuity. I actually have STEM camps and stuff like that. Just promote literacy, man, scientific literacy, bro. So yeah, enthusiast is the person that probably studies and looks around, but the science is the person that's actually, getting that data, doing that work. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. I would consider myself a science enthusiast, although I work in applied sciences. I apply the scientific method, right, to a very high degree. Yet I am not a scientist. A scientist is at the frontier of our knowledge. The scientists operate in the unknown. What I do is based on what the unknown has produced, technology. Then come the engineers. They produce the technology that an applied scientist that we do in applied sciences, right? So I work in immunology, work in biochemistry, in chemistry, and in microbiology. These are all applied fields of science, right? So the scientists are operating in the unknown, and at the same time, science enthusiasts, you're always looking for the latest research that comes out, and then you try to synthesize that information, and you're an enthusiast, so you want to translate that information, you want to pass that on. This particular topic is part of the education process that I go through to become a biochemical technologist. Right? You need to be rooted in the philosophy of science. Why? It teaches you particular frameworks of reasoning, right? What is allowed, what isn't allowed, how to prepare hypotheses, even how to objectively um, describe a particular phenomenon without interjecting your subjective
Hey,
feelings.
Consul, he gonna make you forget what your question was. Hell no, said you crazy as hell.
You always get
Hell
suggesting I'm
no,
about to
yo,
have
you
my play.
playing, yo. Jesus Christ.
You got a cut off for it right there.
Damn.
Well,
What was the question?
Well, the reason I
Scientist
segued
and enthusiast.
Yeah, the reason I
left the lighter.
threw that question out there was a
My fault.
clarifying question.
Oh,
It was a
okay.
clarifying question because I've watched as an observer with this debate, I guess, if you want to call it that.
It's not a debate.
Yeah, that's
not
well.
a debate at all.
I didn't think it was.
All. Right.
Yeah, I didn't think it. I didn't think it was.
Teach.
But
we teaching, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get some clarity to the premise.
What you need? Oh, the premise is. Oh, let me say it simple. It simply was I simply gave a lecture on the history of science from 350,000 years all the way to the scientific revolution. That's it. That's all it did, bro. And everybody dove in where they wanted to dive in at. Okay, so I mean, nothing I could do with that. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. But go ahead. Where you at? Let me hear where your stance is. You heard? What's up?
I couldn't really formulate a stance yet because I think one time I heard Reggie. I don't know. It just populated on my laptop. Sonetta's channel, and Reggie was debating or arguing rather. That science is established outside of modern science. I think that's what it was. I don't really want to speak on somebody.
Yes, that's what he said.
Ignorant.
He said that.
Okay.
He said.
And I couldn't quite understand the disparagement. What created, this pushback to what science is and how it's used. I don't quite understand, especially if you get a historical account.
That's all I did, bro. I think that the first of all, Reggie don't know what STEM is or STEAM is. He actually thinks that science predates technology, which is ridiculous. Okay, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's technology, engineering, and math. Right? That's and we can cross pollinate engineering and math, right? Which one first? We don't got to do that, but technology is first. We know it's the chimpanzees in the Stone Age. Australopithecines made tools. Homo erectus made tools. Homo habilis made tools. So we're not gonna sit up here and mess that up. You feel me? You know, I've been studying 160,000, 170,000, 300,000. That's my spot, right? That's my sweet spot. So don't talk to me about no science. By the time you get to 3000 BCE, then you start to catch on to the proto-science, and they started crying about that. Where you get written records and you get you get a certain amount of precision. You know what I'm saying? Transferring the knowledge, but your spiritual system is deeply entwined into it. Deeply entwined. I mean, so I mean, come on, bro. I'm not doing this. Like there is no science without the early hunter-gatherers. I'll tell you that. And I'll just leave it right there, Consul.
Okay, see, now I'm confused. Because why was you getting pushed back as if you didn't say that?
Because they bitches. I'm going to say it just like that. With no disrespect. No disrespect, bro, because they just bitches. You get it? Meaning they want to disrupt for views. You get my point? It ain't no love in that. You know, I always, hold on, I'm Black African Power, remember? I'm the African guy. You default at times. So why would I do that? You don't think about that, yo. We got 350,000 years lead the way. What are we talking about?
So I have a presentation where we clearly establish knowledge and technology as the foundation. The foundation of human existence. We establish clearly knowledge as the broad base, technology as the second layer. Right? Those are the pillars of human existence. First of all, knowledge, rationality, pattern seeking, causality, and our empiricism to pass on the information from one generation to the next. Without that empiricism, we do not get to societies, we do not get to civilizations, we do not have what we have. That was established in the beginning of the conversation.
I ain't trade that shit. Come on, Consul, to my default. Being wrong at times out in August for Africa, yo. Come on, bro. If don't nobody know what you know, Consul.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying.
I don't gotta fake you out, yo. You get it?
No,
you get it, right?
No, but see, when I seen you on the screen, I wanted to ask you directly because I'm going, I kind of know what Ankh is going to say. I'm not going to assume, but this is a brother I know 15 plus. So
come on, yo.
You sit up here and say this plain. Where is the pushback?
Man, because they think science is the most important thing ever. First of all, they say fuck traditional shit. The hell with the knowledge systems. The hell with the wisdom systems. You know what I mean? The hell with the trial and error. You know what I mean? The hell with the invention. The hell with all that. It don't matter if it ain't science. That's ridiculous. Like, get out of here with that. That's a later on thing based off of just the accumulating knowledge that was passed on from cultures and civilizations. It's actually a human endeavor, bro. You need all the humans to participate. And you need to know every inch of the globe to get you that point, to realize, wait. Ho, 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 ho. Right, come on, bro. I'm not sitting here, come on, bro. You know, we veterans in this. I'm not sitting here messing it up like that, bro. They just Googling in. How about that?
I'm good, bro. I don't have a dog.
They're asking ChatGPT to think for them in a conversation that is philosophical. And you know, Kansu, to study philosophy requires work. So why you want to get into this conversation from a rudimentary surface level understanding? They are applying technology or the tools of science, the tools used in that philosophical framework. They equate the tools, to the philosophical framework. That it is, the convolution is crazy, infantile at best.
My thing is this, and I'm gonna throw a shout out there. I see Chris put go get a machine learning class, yo. It's free. Coursera got a free course that teach you how to do the research. Go learn the CRAP method, maybe the SIF method, to know how to vet a source. Like, go learn that shit. You can learn it. Where these kind of asinine, because it sounds asinine, you see what I'm saying, bro? Because I'm going, wait a minute, man. This ain't even in framework. He's not even going to entertain this argument. He's not going to entertain this when it comes to science.
No.
We talking about the foundation of a Rosquash. I don't get it. So now I hear the argument matriculate, and it's redundant because I know Ankh ain't separating sciences. He knows science. Ankh knows science.
I know what it is. I know what it's not.
Yeah.
I know without them early hunter-gatherers and those herbs they developed, right? And those techniques and those early observations, those early lunar calendars, 160,000 years, bro. Like, come on, this is me, pinnacle point. They got a lunar calendar system. Like, get out of here, bro. Like, come on, bro. That's the found, but they don't know why though, Consul. You know what I mean? Why? Why does this plant repel the insects? They don't know the why. They don't know the active ingredients in the plants. Guess what? They don't need to know that yet. They don't. Okay? They Science is not relevant in this point. But there's established knowledge and wisdom that must get transmitted.
Can the brothers come up? Can the brothers come up if they in the audience? Why don't they come up here?
No, I don't want to come up. I'm scared. Shaking in their boots.
And then look what's on the screen, Consul. They carry the conversation they move the conversation now to the philosophical position of individuals in this time frame, whether they were a philosophical naturalist, whether they were theological based. It's completely irrelevant, non sequitur. I mean, it is ridiculous. It is asinine at this point. Just sits up there and clearly reads the ChatGPT saying these group of people in this particular time period are natural philosophers. Yet he wants to claim that they are methodological naturalists. How?
They natural
These two
philosophers,
philosophical frameworks are completely different. One, authority by the human. The second, authority by nature. Completely fundamentally different frameworks. How do you conflate the two? Why would you conflate the two? Each one worked in its own paradigm. Chinese didn't need no science. Silly videos, gotcha moments, discrediting comments, and when they get the pushback and they get the ass whooping, then they cry foul. Oh, pseudo killers are brutal. Oh, they're so mean. He called me a monkey. No, I call you a Caterini, because that's a silly argument you guys been having as well. You are a Caterini. Deal with it.
Yeah, well, I just had to say, I got called like it is, bro. You know, if a man sit up there and blatantly say something you didn't say, bro, you know what I mean? Like whatever recourse do you have? Like just outright lying? Outright attack, show? Where there's information to be had? I'm thinking you trying to screw the community at this point. Yeah, I'm thinking you in a weird way, you care more about some views than you actually care about the knowledge. So I care about the wisdom and the knowledge. Yeah, that's real talk, yo. Sir, I care about getting it right. I care about changing my stance when I've been found to be wrong. It's as simple as that, bro. Like, we ain't sitting here doing that.
That's an obligation.
I said I gave it, and then his own presentation. Get out of here, yo. But you're not gonna make me say at 330,000 just because they found a daggone cave with some bedding with plants in it that repel insects. That's fucking chemistry or that's science, man. Knock it off, yo. It's knowledge. It's wisdom.
Yeah.
It would be transferred from generation to generation. It works. You know what I mean? They in a position where they in the doing stage. They trying to have valuable offspring that will make it to reproduction. Food, clothing, and shelter. Shoes
Right.
aren't important. Getting things right is more important. Not knowing the chemical components that actually repel the bugs. I cannot believe people don't get that, bro. Like, I'm just trying to understand it. They hadn't even left Africa yet. If it took 350,000 years to get out of Africa, you're like, think about that for a minute, bro. That's a conversation to have, yo. And then they failed the first time they came out and had to go back again. I mean, come on, bro. Like, what? You would ask yourself, why would it take that long? Because they didn't know what the hell they was. How about that? But you saying if they had signs, they'd navigated their ass up out of there. If you had signs for 350,000 years, or they went to another universe some damn where, they'd have figured out how. Man, that's why it's just a crazy conversation for me, though, Consul. At this point, yo, 350,000 years of science, yo. Think about that, yo, of knowing the elements. Do you know what you could do 350,000 years, yo?
All
right.
How about
Imagine that.
6,000 years in Kemet? How about Kemet at 6,000 years of science, yo? The scientific revolution just kicked off, what, 250 years ago?
Yeah.
Right.
Think about that, yo. And from the 1900s, yo? And it taking, what, 60 years to get to the moon? Like, man, I ain't trying to hear that, man. I ain't trying to hear that. So they had science, right, for 300,000 years or 6,000 years of Kemet, and all they could build was a damn pyramid. They could have built a luxury hotel at that point.
At least. Running water and electricity. At least running water and electricity.
Right, come on, bro.
Minimum.
And then they do the unthinkable. Stop judging what ancient people did with what we do now. It makes no sense, bro. They didn't need cars. They sure as hell didn't need shoes. They think, they don't need no damn shoes, bro. They need food, clothing, and shelter, protection.
See, I'm looking at the brother Evidence True, or sister. I don't know who that is, but why not clear it up? Have you talked to Uncle? Because I'm
don't care,
and I'm hearing concise, due process. That's all I'm hearing from Uncle. It's concise, due process, man.
They don't care. See, they think it's easy, Consul. See, they think it's easy. They think it's that. They forget the whole sapien evolved to believe, first of all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How you going to know about all flora, right, and fauna if you have not investigated the whole world?
Hold up, Aunt. Hold up, man. Did you hear what you just said?
Yeah.
I don't hear nobody talking about flora unless they got knowledge. If you don't have terminal consistency, I can't entertain a certain subject matter with you. Now you say something like flora, and I know that takes you out the box of 90% of folks that's talking about this.
And fauna, they don't know what I'm talking about.
Right, there's no way. There's no way.
The new world.
And the correlation and cognition ain't there.
Yeah, the discovery of the new world, right? We keep saying this. When you discover new flora and fauna, it forces a paradigm shift, especially from an authoritative standpoint. From an authoritative standpoint, that was held the Aristotelian standpoint. They didn't know. Now you're forced to with an epistemic problem.
Yeah,
it's like you just said, Consul. It's like you just said. Certain words you use, right? You know, if a person don't understand that word, you know where they at. So if you like that new world made them realize that the authority they was following didn't know.
Yeah.
So why would we keep following them?
Yeah. You have an epistemic crisis, but you have to realize the epistemic crisis that you have. Your whole knowledge system is built on that authoritative structure that falls underneath you. It disappears. Do you understand the epistemic crisis that you're in? Do you see the impetus to establish a new paradigm? Watch the development that subsequently follows. I'm going to break it all down. This is fun for me. I love this stuff.
Well, when we start talking about epistemology, that's based on the raw data that you take in in order to synthesize and develop new data that's congruent with a scientific consistency based on the method results.
Thank you.
Like, to try to explain epistemology requires a level of aptitude.
How do you know
First, like, to argue the ontology and go into the epistemology to create axiologies based on
No, they are
expansion.
stuck on ontology. They are
Shit.
literally stuck on ontology. Stuck right there. They
Well,
can't
that's
make
philosophy.
they
But
cannot
that's
make the epistemic jump to epistemology to understand the conversation. They're not there. So they're stuck in an ontological framework analyzing the tools.
That's crazy. That's crazy, Cedric. Because philosophy cannot sit on its own. The philosophy creates the hypothesis. But then you got to be able to create a method that's epistemic to yield results that are testable.
Yeah.
Testable
And
results.
there is methodological naturalism knocking at the door. Tuck, 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 tuck. Framework. Okay, perfect. Universally applicable. It can account for all systems, and it puts the authority outside of the individual. Now everybody can do science. The accumulation of data is going to expound exponentially. Paradigm shifts. Understand the environment that you guys are arguing in. I can dream this stuff. Y'all do not know what you're talking about. You are you're contemplating the conversation for no reason.
I commented on Ank's thread on Facebook, and I just don't see how this conversation went past 5 minutes. I just don't. I don't know.
I think science is easy.
Maybe
you've been out the loop. You've been out the loop.
Maybe I've been out the loop.
And guess what? The Black Houses wants everything. They don't want the 350,000 years, right? to start, build that foundational work. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing but indigenous Africans in that process, 350,000 years, man. And then, after you leave Africa, you know what I'm saying, and traverse the planet, then you started getting around 3000 BCE, and you in Africa, laying the foundational down in the form of proto-scientific ideas, right? You still in the damn picture, you all the way. Then you can actually mark different African people. You got West Africa reached the golden age. They ain't talking about that. They talk about the Muslims. Chef talk about the Muslims. He don't talk about the golden age. He trying to take us back to Islam. You know what I'm saying? So you get the one period where it crystallized at, and the scientific revolution, because it ain't in Africa. Like, get out of here with that Black House. We can't even learn, yo.
Kansu, you know what?
Will not allow us to learn.
Kansu, you know what I hypothesized today? That right now we're at the crossroads, right? Between the methodological naturalists, us, that allows nature and history to speak for itself, versus the natural philosophers, the barbershop boys, who want to be in an environment where they can predominantly pretty much make it up.
Go ahead, Chris. You got to screen up.
Yeah.
No, I'm good, man. I'm about ready to shut it down, man. We going into 3 hours now. Yeah, I got to get ready to go to work, man. You know what I'm saying? I proved my point. I think he used a bad source. I think it didn't agree with him. Strictly his information. Thanks, Chef, for streaming my show while I'm live. That's a funny move. That's amateur. That's real mature of you, but you know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's how you play that game, yo.
Yeah. With that being said, when you say it, I'm gonna play it, and like I said, it is what it is, man. It's you just used a bad source, man. Love you, bro, but you're wrong on that one. So you guys got to understand science and scientific and how the method was developed. Once again, we talking about framework. We're not talking about ontology, which leads to philosophy. We're not talking about that no more. You know what I'm saying? We passed that. Modern science is the standard today. And no matter what you guys try to use, and no matter how you try to manipulate Chat GPT, you're going to fall short. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to grab them sources from Chat GPT. Listen, man, you can go to Khan University and learn this stuff for free. It's online for free. These are online free classes that you guys can do. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, guys, we're gonna shut it down. Shout out to the Super Killer. Shout out to my big bro, Consu, Orlando, Cedric, God Killer, myself, my entire audience, guys. I know I didn't. I should have did this yesterday. I got a little tired from work, but we finna shut this thing down. With that being said, guys, y'all know what I like to say. I don't run from it. I run to it. I welcome it. And be a master at yourself in your own craft. With that being said, a bad stage does not deserve, I'm sorry, a bad premise does not deserve a great stage, and the best lies tell 99% of the truth.
Man.